Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We need to talk. We need to talk about blacksmithing and how blacksmithing got changed, because a lot of people are talking about it and about the profession revamp. I think most people are happy with the alchemist changes and the treasure hunting changes, but a lot of people hate the blacksmithing changes. But at the same time, I think a lot of people hate it, but there's a lot of hate about it, and no one's talking about the positives. But I do think positives exist. I actually agree with the opinion that, like me personally, right? Me personally, I strongly agree with the opinion that this is a bad change, and that how blacksmithing is now is perfectly fine. And I don't agree with the changes. But at the same time, I also believe to have good conversation, to have good dialogue, you need both opinions, both the positive and the negative. It's just that no one's talking about the positive, so I think we should talk about that so we can have good dialogue. Alright, I'm probably gonna put this at the beginning of the video, but it's technically the last thing I'm talking about, but I feel like a lot of people might tune out, so I'm gonna put this at the beginning of the video so most people can hear. I think the most important thing here is what they do going forward, and I think they genuinely have a good, really good path to take, and a path that will help a lot of people be more positive about this. Because when it comes to the idea of like a forever enhancement event, you know, this main thing, they could use this to this advantage. You can use this to their advantage to make a really positive change that a lot of people would like. What if with this change, they kind of sprinkle in enhancement events throughout the, not enhancement events, but event fluorites and event scrolls throughout the year. You know, whenever we get those events where it's just like, you collect this item per day, and then you can exchange them to get whatever item you want, like a time and space scroll, like sage stones, like, I don't know, gold seals. What if one of those items were like an event fluorite or an event scroll? You know what I mean? Then you could be like, oh, well, today or this month, I ain't feeling sage stones. I'm kind of good on sage stones. I'm not feeling gold seals, but I'll get this fluorite ore and I'll get this scroll, you know, so I can enhance a little bit with my blacksmith, who can make an enhancement event whenever he wants. I genuinely think people would really enjoy that. People will like that a lot. And it's just like, it would make a lot of sense because, again, like I said, having an enhancement event twice a year, then that's it. It's a bit weird. It's a bit strange. But again, if they sprinkle in, they just need to sprinkle in these little enhancement, like fluorite ores, these little scrolls throughout, and events they do anyway. I think it would make a lot of sense with this kind of forever enhancement event, and it'll help people calm down a little bit about these changes, where it's just like, okay, I can't skip, but I can enhance throughout the year instead. You know, again, changing it from a kind of twice a year thing to now it's a continuous thing. Now it's a continuous thing whenever events happen that you enhance a little bit, and then when it gets to the big enhancement event, you can enhance like crazy. But again, throughout the year, you're enhancing a little bit, so people have these kind of boosts of luck and things like that. I think that would genuinely be a really good change, and genuinely, you know, change the opinion for a lot of people. I think people will still be annoyed and hate the changes because, again, like I said, well, like I'll say later on in this video, as you'll see, I personally don't like these changes. I personally, my personal opinion is I don't like these changes, but I still wanted to make a dialogue of just like the positive and the negative. And I think the most positive thing comes when the ball is in their court. The ball is in KOG's court right now, and they could make something really great here if they want to take that chance. And I think it logically makes sense to, again, sprinkle in event fluorites, sprinkle in event scrolls, because ain't nobody gonna buy fluorites, ain't nobody gonna buy scrolls if it's not an enhancement event. No one's gonna do that unless you're impatient or you're a new player. No one's gonna do that unless you're impatient or a new player. So sprinkling them in and utilizing the forever enhancement event, that's it. You win. You got it. Your changes make sense. Your changes make sense, and people understand why you made these changes. If they do that. I don't know if they will, but I hope that they will. So let's talk about the negative first, because I think everybody knows about the negative. So the main negative is the removal of super success and super great success. This is honestly can be kind of seen as the point of blacksmithing. The point of blacksmithing is to get great success and super great success. What do great success and super great success do? They help you jump enhancement levels. Usually when you enhance, you just enhance one by one, but with using the blacksmithing, I can't even get this thing to +0. With using the blacksmithing system, you have a chance to automatically skip levels There you go. Great success, and then super great success will give me 3 levels. So great success gives you 2, super great gives you 3, only up to +10. So it kind of helps you get over this wall that is +9. +9 is a wall. +9 and +10 are very, very, very huge walls, or you can see it as a hill to get over. And if you're outside of an enhancement event, this is what will happen. If you try to enhance a +8, you have a chance to break it, and then you have to get a scroll, which is very, very expensive. So +9 and +10 as hills are kind of defeated by blacksmithing because you have this chance to jump them. You have this chance to jump them, and it is really nice. You do have to use sculptures, obviously, which are a little bit expensive, but using sculptures is a lot less expensive than using the KC items, which are fluorites and scrolls. So that is the main negative, the main argument against it, is that without the blacksmithing system helping you to jump, then you have to resort to using fluorites, then you have to resort to using scrolls instead of the mithril sculptures, which still are a little bit expensive, but not as expensive as these fluorites and these mithril sculptures. Or people are just more comfortable using them because, you know, sometimes fluorites get really, really cheap, especially when the sales come in. But that's a different story. And yeah, that's just kind of the main negative. Mostly people are just talking about that, about how you can't jump anymore, because that again, like I said, that is what blacksmithing is. It is jumping. That's what it is. That's the point of the profession. So it's almost like they got rid of the point of the profession to do something else. So let's talk about the positives, because I do think positives exist. So the first change that we got from the kind of blacksmithing change, to go back here, is that it is now changed so that you kind of almost create your own enhancement event. Like the fluorites enhancement consumes to 1, mithril consumes on the level, and blacksmithing hammers can be attained from the anvil. Let me talk about this part first, because it kind of ties into what I was talking about before with the negative. So the blacksmithing hammer, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with the blacksmithing hammer. With any hammer, well, first of all, let me talk about hammers. So what hammers do is it doubles the successful enhancement of happening. Again, if we go back to the tables here, that got revealed way back when. For example, getting to +9 gets doubled to 4, getting to +10 gets doubled to 2, etc, etc, etc. So you could see hammers as almost consistent, right? You could almost see hammers as like a consistent way to enhance, and almost like this, the blacksmith jumping is almost a little bit more inconsistent. Because one key thing to consider is that every hammer that exists in the game right now is temporary. It is temporary, except the ones in achievements. We'll talk about achievements in a little bit. Every hammer that exists in the game, I got this one from hitting the anvil today. Every one in the game is always temporary, usually 7 days. But with this new change, you can stock up hammers until enhancement event. So you can stock up however many hammers that they will contain. You can stock that up and use that for enhancement event, which is, like I said, it is a consistent thing to enhance. I think another positive thing as well that not many people are talking about, just because we don't have the knowledge, is how many hammers can we stock up. And I think honestly this will be the deal breaker. I think this will be the biggest deal breaker when it comes to, is this a good system or is this not a good system, because essentially they're replacing this almost like super RNG, like you could call it quote unquote this more crazy RNG thing with enhancement skipping, with quote unquote consistent enhancing with the hammers. But I think it'll live and die by the question of how many hammers can you stock up? How many hammers can you stock up? Obviously you can stock more by level, they did talk about that, but how many can you stock up? You know what I mean? Like, let's go crazy. Let's say at at level 10 blacksmith, you can stock up to 100 hammers. You know what I mean? Like, let's go crazy. I think if it was that, people would be just like, oh, that's fine. Yeah, dude, I'll do that. Because again, they talked about, like, I believe it is every 12 hours you can stock up 1 hammer. Yeah, you can use the anvil every 12 hours to obtain 1 blacksmith hammer each time. So if you can stack up to 100 hammers, and you're just like, oh dude, I'll just stack up my hammers like every single, like 2 times a day, and then when I hit the enhancement event every half year at summer or winter, I'll be good. I'll have these many hammers ready to go, and then I'll be good. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's a route they could take. But we just don't have that knowledge yet. We can only judge that knowledge when we get the knowledge of how many hammers can we stock up. So that's one positive, is the idea of the hammers being more consistent RNG. I mean, well, consistent enhancing. I don't know if it's consistent RNG. It's just more consistent, enhancing, because it does just double the rate. But again, I think most of that hinges on like how many hammers do we get. So the second positive I wanted to talk about comes to the new players. It comes to the new players. This is not for the OGs, this is for the new players. If you talk to a new player and you tell them, or they just kind of figure out, like, how are they gonna know that, oh, you're not supposed to enhance past +8 except for these events that only happen half a year? It's a bit ridiculous, you know what I mean? I think we're used to it just because we've adapted to it and have played this game for so long. I'm talking about the OGs here, like me and like other people. And we've adapted to this. We've adapted to this idea of you only enhance to +8, and then you go to +9 and beyond during these enhancement events that only happen half a year. Happens in winter, happens in summer. Again, like I said, I personally am fine with it. I love that system because of what it does. Maybe I'll talk about that in a different video. But it is weird. It is weird, very, very strange that is a system. Because just like, are you kidding me? I have to wait half a year to enhance this FOJ I just got? I want to use this FOJ. It's like, no, you gotta wait for this enhancement event. So, it can definitely, I think it definitely is a positive for those new players who just like want to enhance already, because it just changes, because now you can be like, instead of being like, oh, you have to wait until summer or you have to wait until winter for a real enhancement event to happen, now you can just be like, oh, just make a blacksmith and you can enhance like that. You know what I mean? At the same time, though, a big counterpoint to that is that there's no deals. Unless there will be deals. Hold on. But yeah, a big counterpoint is that there's no deals. So usually during an enhancement event, there'll be crazy deals for florites, for scrolls, and if those deals don't exist, florites and scrolls cost a lot. They do cost a lot of ED. That's why no one wants to buy them, because why would you buy a scroll or a florite if it's not being on a sale? They cost way too much. So that's a thing. But like I was saying, well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's stick on the positives. So that is another positive, is that it technically does help new players with enhancing, just because a enhancement event that happens 2 times a year is a bit ridiculous. Even though I think it's fine. Alright, now the third positive I want to talk about is probably... This might be the most important one, and low-key, guys, honestly, low-key, this might be the reason they're doing this change. This genuinely might be the reason they're doing this change. I've never wanted to talk about this because I don't want people doing this, because if I tell people about this, I know they're going to do it, but regardless, they're getting rid of this, so I can talk about this now. Achievements. So guys, listen, look at the achievements here. I think it's item achievements. Yeah. So, in item achievements, you can get blacksmithing items, like hammers, like I showed you here. Remember I talked about it earlier, that achievements are the main way that you can kind of get these hammers that don't go away, because once you get the hammers, then it's temporary. But when it's in here, it's not temporary. And you can also get, you can also get blacksmithing materials. That's another important thing, is that you get blacksmithing materials. And well, this hammer's here too. So unfortunately, what people do is they will create new accounts. They will create new accounts during enhancement events. They will utilize blacksmithing, and they will utilize these free one-time achievements, okay, and get +9s and get +10s, and either sell them and get ED, and then give that ED to their main account, or maybe they'll give that amulet to the main account. I don't think you would give the amulet to the main account, because I think that's an easy way for people to catch you, is giving a straight up amulet to your main account. Like if your main account just gets suddenly 3 mails of +9s, that's really suspect. But people will create new accounts, use these one-time achievements, and get +10s, +9s, sell them for ED, and then eventually move over that ED to their main account. This is straight up manipulating. The achievements are supposed to be one time per account. That is how they're balanced, is one time per account. And then using them multiple times, creating a straight up new account, and then giving that to your other account, that's just messed up. That's just messed up. I don't, whether or not it's against the TOS, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. But achievements are functioned to be only once per account, making a whole new account and using these once per account things on that, and then moving the stuff over. That might, low-key guys, this might be it. Honestly, this might be it, because I even personally know people. Who do this. Like, you do you at the end of the day. Like, I ain't gonna judge what you do. Like, let me not say that. But this is a genuine problem, because like I've been saying, these are one-time things. They're supposed to be these sculptures, these hammers, all of these are supposed to be one-time things for your account. Even the event when you get the fluorites. When you get the fluorites once per account, it's supposed to be for that account. So if you sell it for ED and then move it to your normal account, and it's just like, well, what the heck are you doing? What the heck are you doing? That's straight up manipulating, at least in my opinion, of these once per account things. So that's kind of, it's a quote-unquote positive, you know what I mean? It's a quote-unquote positive, but it's more of a fix than a positive, because it's not really a positive for the players. It affects players who are using this kind of exploit, you could call it, and it's a quote-unquote positive. Alright, let me summarize this video, because it was a little bit scatterbrained. I mean, it's a Rambles video, but still, it's a little bit scatterbrained, so let me just summarize what I talked about. So, first of all, the negative is that the main thing they're getting rid of was seen as the point of blacksmithing. Great success and super great success help you get over that hill that is +9, that is +10. It helps a lot of people get over that hill really, really nicely, and now they're getting rid of it. That is the main negative here. The positives that I talked about is that depending on the amount of hammers that they give you, it could be a lot of hammers, and hammers are good items, and you can save them forever, unlike most hammers, which are temporary. Another positive is that this technically is a positive change for new players or people who are impatient, because they don't have to wait half a year to start enhancing. Now they can just make a blacksmith to enhance whenever they want to. And the final positive thing is this does technically get rid of people who manipulate the achievement rewards and use these one-time achievement rewards with these one-time event rewards, and that just make enhancements and then just give them to their main account. And the last thing I talked about, technically the first thing in this video, is going forward, what is a positive change they can do. And I do think going forward, the positive change they can do is making event fluorites and event scrolls sprinkled throughout the year as part of their normal events. Include them in the rewards for sage stones, in the rewards for gold seals, etc, etc, like in the Noah event, for example. And I do think people could positively enjoy these new changes. I think that's the main thing. People could positively enjoy these new changes if it's just like, okay, you have this forever blacksmithing, and event scrolls and event fluorites are sprinkled throughout the year. I do think that is a great change they can do. But again, ball is in their court. Ball is absolutely in KOG's court what they want to do with this. They could definitely turn this into a positive thing, because it is definitely seen as a negative thing right now. It is up to them. It is up to them at the end of the day. I am just here to talk about the game. But thank you guys so much for watching. This is very much a scatterbrained video. You guys don't even know how many times I reset this video. I've been recording this for a long time. I just keep messing up. But it's okay. It's okay. It's Rambles. I'm just talking. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'm gonna see you guys next time, and peace out.